Hello, welcome into another edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up. I'm John McAfoose, happy to be joined today by Samford cross-country head coach Chad Ballio. Coach, appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, John, for having me.
Well, we talked early in the season after your first meet at Montevallo, which was a win for you guys. I know a lot has happened since then. You've had a couple of meets since then. Just kind of catch us up and tell us what you've seen out of the team over the last month and a half.
Yeah, so we went up to Louisville early October and faced some pretty good competition up there. We ended up losing one on the women's side, Mackenzie Hogue, but outside of that, I thought the women ran really consistently. If you were to replace her into our top five, very, very competitive overall. And the men have been very, very consistent. Ran real tough at Louisville, finished 13th. A number of teams, I think 40-plus teams were at the meet. So we're running well and looking forward to championship season.
When you look at some of those meets with the tougher competition, what were kind of your expectations going into those meets?
Yeah, I think just be consistent. We're not incredibly deep, especially on the men's side, so I've been proud of the boys about just how consistent they've been. Hunter Poole, Sam Katulich have been great as a 4 or 5 leg for us, and Dylan Dean, obviously as a front runner, is going to help us out. Very, very fit, maybe a little too aggressive training-wise heading into UAB, but I'm really excited for him to get his legs into championship season. And then on the women's side, we've a little bit more interchangeable, but I've had some girls who have made some really big jumps, which has been really nice to see. Training has been going really well, and I'm really excited to have the full squad heading into championship season.
I know we talked a little bit too at the beginning of the season about some of the underclassmen, the freshmen that have kind of taken on big roles. How have you kind of seen those underclassmen develop over the season?
Yeah, sure. So Katie Strozier on the women's side has been it's been a lot of fun to work with. She has really figured out cross country quickly. More of a 800-meter girl. She ran 2:11 in high school. She's got some real good speed. 57-second 400-meter girl. But she is really, I think, PB'd by over 90 seconds in cross. So really good momentum heading into championship season for her. Mackenzie Hogue, getting her back into the swing of things. Started off 2 SoCon, Athlete of the Weeks to kick off her race, and then a little bit of a jam up. But certainly, I think she's going to add a lot of value to our women's team. Jeb Jones, obviously, is he's a freshman who coming in more of a miler, and he's adapted to the 8K really well. He is training really consistently, and really excited, to get him into the mix, here over the next couple weeks.
You got the SoCon championships on Saturday. When you look at your team and where you're at physically, I know you mentioned you had some injuries. You're kind of getting back to full strength, but physically, do you feel like you're in a good spot right now going into the championship season?
Yeah, I really like where we're at on both sides. We're healthy. I think everyone is really pinpointed, championship season, beginning back in July. So we're all, I think, anxious for it to be here. Certainly excited, and looking forward to that gun going off in Johnson City to, position ourselves to do some exciting things.
What do you kind of see out of the rest of the SoCon on both the men's and the women's side?
Yeah, so the goal is to be always top 2 on both sides. Furman's got a really great program, distance-dominated program, and both nationally ranked. But we're going to try to key off them, and the championship season, anything can happen. So we're certainly going in there trying to be incredibly competitive at the top of the conference.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me, John.
Head coach Chad Ballio. Stay tuned. We've still got an interview with senior Dylan Dean coming up next.
Hi, I'm Sam Pritchard, and this is the Samford Sports Minute presented by Brombergs. The volleyball team went undefeated this past week. They beat the Citadel last Friday 3-1, Wofford on Saturday by the same score, and swept Mercer in their final home game of the season on Wednesday. They have the weekend off before hitting the road next week. The soccer team beat Chattanooga on Sunday 1-0 to secure their record 6th straight Southern Conference regular season title. The Dogs play the Citadel in the Southern Conference Tournament quarterfinal on Saturday at 2 p.m. right here at home. The football team had a big win over ETSU over the weekend. They'll look to keep some positive momentum as they head out of town this weekend to take on Mercer on Saturday. The cross-country teams had the weekend off but are back in action on Saturday in the Southern Conference Championships. The basketball season is right around the corner. The women's team plays Oglethorpe on Saturday in an exhibition, and Montevallo on Tuesday right here in the P. Hanna Center. The men's team travels to Morehead State on Tuesday and have their first home game of the season next Thursday against Kentucky Wesleyan. The women's golf team competed in their last tournament of the spring in the Terrier Intercollegiate earlier in the week, where they placed second. The men's golf team is back in action in the East Bay Classic this weekend. And both tennis teams are back in action this weekend, with the men competing in the CCB Collegiate Invite starting this Friday, and the women taking part in the College of Charleston Invitational this weekend. I'm Sam Pritchard, and this has been your Samford Sports Minute presented by Bromberg's.
Welcome back to the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Coca-Cola. I'm joined now by senior runner Dylan Dean. Dylan, appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's kind of look back at last year for you, and it was kind of a breakout season for you a year ago. When you got here this fall, what were kind of some of your expectations, and what did you want to improve on for your senior season?
For my senior season, definitely the goals have been a lot higher than last year. This year, our goal for conference is to go for the individual win at conference. And I mean, that's going to be tough to do, but to try to go for the win, and if not, be in the top 2 to top 3. And that'll definitely help as far as the team standings go as well, to be able to have that low stick as far as scoring and points go. And then obviously I've been really focusing on wanting to make it to NCAAs this year. You have to be a top 4 individual that's not in the top 2 teams at our region, at the South region in Tallahassee, Florida, in 2 weeks.
Well, you've had another great season so far. This year you've been a SoCon Runner of the Week several times. Just talk a little bit about the progress you've made this year from the beginning of the season until now.
Yeah, this season, I mean, it started off well. Like you said, got a couple of SoCon Runners of the Week, and really had a really good performance in the middle of the season at Louisville Classic whenever I had a big PR there. And then last 2 weeks ago at the UAB invite, kind of did all right, got another top 10 finish, but it wasn't as good as the rest. But I had also been just training through that entire week and had a really hard workout 2 days before. Didn't have my legs under me at all, but that's part of it. It's just preparing for this meet and regionals in 2 weeks.
Physically, do you feel like you were in a good spot going into the SoCon Championships this weekend?
Yes, I do. I had a good workout on Tuesday. Felt good, felt strong, felt like I was finally getting my legs back under me, and had a good long run this past Saturday. And so I'm starting to feel in my peak shape. Definitely, like this week, I had one of the best workouts I've had. I mean, it's been kind of simple, kind of the same throughout the year. Just pace is getting a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter with a little bit less rest. But it's been good. I feel strong going into this weekend.
We've seen some underclassmen on this year's team kind of jump into a big role immediately. Do you feel like you've kind of taken on a little bit of a leadership role in your senior season?
Yes, I've definitely over the past 2 to 3 years, I've been trying to, not like overly try to insert myself as a leader, but just especially this year, just trying to lead by example. Show, if you work hard for 4 years, this is what can happen. If you stay consistent, you have consistent training, you do the right things, you do all the little small things, like this is what can happen over a 4-year progress. And I'm hoping that they can see that, and I hope, I'm a big believer in actions speak louder than words, and I think that's what I really try to do. Instead of being an extremely vocal leader, I'll kind of say like, hey, you're doing this wrong, or you might want to do this instead of this, but overall I just try to lead more by example than anything.
Well, real quick before I let you go, I got to get the yearly update on the stash. Once you get through SoCon, is it staying? Is it staying through regionals? How long is it staying?
Yeah, it's staying till regionals for sure, and hopefully till nationals. So hopefully it'll be here on November 23rd for nationals in Terre Haute, and then I don't know if I'll ride it out till the end of November for No Shave November, or cut it at the end, because honestly I started growing it. Last day I shaved, like fully shaved, was conference in May at track.
It's a long time. It's a long time. Well, Dylan, appreciate your time, and best of luck this weekend at the SoCon Championships.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Dylan Dean and head coach Chad Ballio for joining me on this edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Coca-Cola. We'll see you next week.